Candidates ready for the fight. Voices loud, they take the stand. Who will lead this promised land? Promises flying, hearts ignite. Truth or lies, will take the mic. The clock is ticking, make your choice. Who you hear, the people's voice. It's in the ballot, it's in your hand. The future's calling, take a stand. One vote, one dream, one destiny. Who will wear the crown in 2025? We'll see. Words are weapons, wielded strong. Debates get heated, right or wrong. They paint the town with visions bold. Who will rise, who will fold? Shadows linger, truth will stand. The battle rages from within. One by one they state their case, but only one can win this race. Who will lead this, win this race? It's in the ballot, it's in your hand. The future's calling, take a stand. One vote, one dream, one destiny. Who will wear the crown in 2025? We'll see. We'll see. Promises flying, hearts ignite. Truth and lies both take a mic. The clock is ticking, make your choice. Will you hear the people's voice? It's in the ballot, it's in your hand. The future's calling, take a stand. One vote, one dream, one destiny. Who will wear the crown in 2025? We'll see. Words are weapons, wielded strong. Debates get heated, right or wrong. They paint the town with visions bold. Who will rise, who will fold? Shadows linger, truth will stand. The battle rages from within. One by one they state their case, but only one can win this race. Who will lead this, win this race? It's in the ballot, it's in your hand. The future's calling, take a stand. One vote, one dream, one destiny. Who will wear the crown in 20?
And this.
Candidates ready for the fight. Voices loud, they take the stand. Who will lead this promised land? Promises flying, hearts ignite. Truth or lies, will take the mic. The clock is ticking, make your choice. Who you hear, the people's voice. It's in the ballot, it's in your hand. The future's calling, take a stand. One vote, one dream, one destiny. Who will wear the crown in 2025? We'll see. Words are weapons, wielded strong. Debates get heated, right or wrong. They paint the town with visions bold. Who will rise, who will fold? Shadows linger, truth will stand. The battle rages from within. One by one they state their case, but only one can win this race. Who will lead this, win this race? It's in the ballot, it's in your hand. The future's calling, take a stand. One vote, one dream, one destiny. Who will wear the crown in 2025? We'll see. We'll see. Promises flying, hearts ignite. Truth and lies both take a mic. Candidates ready for the fight. Voices loud, they take the stand. Who will lead this promised land? Promises flying, hearts ignite.
Good evening, Wainuiomata, and today, with the one and only election that Wainuiomata personally gets to vote in, we've got the Wainuiomata Community Board, and these candidates are here to put their feet to the It's in the Ballot fire. But with every election, there's one thing stepping in their way, and that's your vote. And good evening and welcome to tonight's It's in the Ballot show for the Wainuiomata Community Board. Let's kick it all off with Al on your 1 minute opening statement of why you should receive one of the 6 ticks to be on the Wainuiomata Community Board.
Kia ora koutou katoa. My name is Al Abel and I'm standing for the Wainui Community Board because I care about our people, our families, our tamariki and our kamatuas, and the everyday residents who make this such a special place to live. I didn't grow up here, but I chose Wainui as my home because it has heart, a place where people look out for each other and want the best for their neighbours. But I also know that not everyone in this community always feels seen or supported. As someone who lives with invisible disabilities and as a parent of children with them too, I understand the barriers families face. That's why I advocate for children who fall through the cracks, for parents doing their best with limited support, and for people who are often made to feel invisible. If I'm elected, I will bring the same fierce advocacy to the community board because Wainuiomata deserves leadership that truly listens and acts for its people.
And next up we got Nikki.
Kia ora koutou. My name is Nikki. I'm a mum of 2, raising my family here in Wainuiomata, and like many of you, I care deeply about what happens here in our community because it's where we live our lives every day. Over the years, I have supported whānau through initiatives like the Te Awa Kairangi School Stationery Drive. I've served on the Wainuiomata Primary School Board, and I co-chair Love Wainuiomata. In each of these roles, my focus has been the same: listening, bringing people together, and finding practical, locally led solutions. Wainuiomata is the 2nd largest suburb in the Hutt Valley, and as our region grows and faces major infrastructure and planning challenges, we can't afford to be lost in the noise. I'm standing to make sure our voice is strong, our needs are heard, and our future is shaped by us, not for us.
Okay, next up, and I'm Noho Kaya. Yep.
Tēnei whetū ki te rangirangi tāne ki te whenua, kono ho kai ngā hau. I bring with me a diverse range of skills from a variety of different mahi that I've done over the years. So experience on governance boards, I've worked with charitable trusts, I've raised thousands of dollars for the Breast Cancer Society. I also bring with me a values-based approach. So I'm Māori and I draw a lot from my lived experiences, and I'm a big believer in those values like whakapono, kotahitanga, whanaungatanga being key skills needed for those who represent Wainuiomata. And I think that those are skills that anybody would want from any community. I'm also an experienced Toastmaster, so I bring with me 15 years of professional speaking at all sorts of levels. And I think that's key. When we think about the community board is there to advocate for Wainuiomata, and I'd love to have the opportunity to be able to use those skills.
Okay, and Daniel.
Kia ora. All right, so why should you vote for me? Well, I've got the experience. I am very much who I am. I vote for my punches, I fluctuate, I don't promise things I can't deliver. I understand who I am. I'm very genuine about that. Yeah, and I'm happy to keep you informed. I think that's a huge role of the community board and advocate for one large community. But yeah, I'm genuine, I have integrity. I'm not going to say something and then not do it. Or like I said, promise something that I can't deliver. I have leadership and management experience, and I think that's key in our role, knowing when to speak up, knowing when to advocate. And I've experience working for council for 6 years, so I understand how councils operate, I understand the long-term plans, the district plans, etc. And obviously I've been on the board for 1 or 2 years as well, so I understand all that. So I would love to have your vote if you want to.
Yeah, and sorry if things take a little bit longer for switching on the cameras there. Our stream deck decided not to sit down there and play ball today. So that's the fun part that goes in there. So with community boards, we'll get to the box questions now. The principle behind community boards is to have the candidates to work as a team. So we're going to go one by one to the candidates to pick a box number, but we get all of them to answer the questions and work together as a collaborative team. So Al, between 1 and 9, which box number would you like me to grab? 9?
Oh, sorry, 9.
It's all right. Okay, we got question A for Alpha. Do you support political party endorsements of local government candidates? Why or why not?
That's a different question.
Sorry,
We could totally answer.
sorry, I've screwed up there, and I'm sorry, my computer's spat out needing a password for me to. So what's happened is here, I've loaded the graphics in, but I've got the wrong key on the Stream Deck. Okay, let's get to A. Sorry, that was my mistake. I should know that because that is the one about street names. What will be your preference for new street names to be based on in the Wainuiomata Community Board area? We're very sure you've got to have something to go wrong. Yes.
Okay. For me, the starting point for new street names in Wainuiomata should always be names gifted by a local iwi, honouring Maori history, stories and Rio connects us to the land and reflects our unique identity. I believe that it's an important part of building a community that respects its roots. Alongside that, I'd like to see strong community consultation so residents feel proud of the names chosen. That might mean recognising local history, important places or people who have contributed to Wainuiomata, whether that's former mayors, community leaders or unsung heroes who have made a real difference here. What matters most is that the names reflect who we are as a community, our past, our present and the future we're building together.
Okay, Nikki.
Sure. So very much like Elle, my preference is for our street names to be truly reflective of our community. So it's history, it's people, the things that make Wainuiomata unique. I understand there are some quite formal processes around naming roads and, you have to get approval from sort of central government organisations. But that shouldn't mean that we're limited to a small set of generic choices. I'd like to see us actively gathering ideas from the community so that when the time comes for naming new streets, we've got a living list of names that we can draw from. Maybe that's that they've been gifted by local iwi or they're inspired by our significant local figures. So yeah, when the time comes, we have options that have meaning and that have come from community.
Noho Kaya. Noho Kaya. I don't know why I want to do that. There's a town near Bunnythorpe that that my brain automatically wrongly corrects to.
Kia ora. So I pretty much support what's already been said. I'm a big believer in the names of streets reflecting the local history and definitely names that have been gifted by Te Atiawa, who are the mana whenua here, as well as names that reflect the people who've contributed and shaped Wainuiomata. So people like Nanny Henrietta Maxwell, who taught at the country's first kohanga Pukeatua, Papa Ihakara Puketapu, who passed away a couple of years ago. He founded the kohanga movement alongside many others. So I think that any street names that we do have here should reflect our community and what we'd like to see for our community.
And Daniel.
Yeah, no, not too much more to add. Council does have a street naming policy, which is they try to follow as much as possible.
Check. That's all right. I don't need the whole minute. Not much more to add, really. Council does have a street naming policy, which they try to adhere to as much as possible. And again, that includes iwi engagement and suggestions. However, if residents have suggestions about names that mean something to them, then we as a board will definitely look at that and consider it. So, yeah, should definitely be driven by the naming policy, but also the community desires as well.
Okay, let's get on to box number 2. Nikki, what box number would you like?
Let's go with 5.
5. Okay, and we have D for Delta, as they call it in the phonetic alphabet. How willing are you to work with local hapu and iwi at a community board level?
Sure. For me, though, this is a really no-brainer question. I'm really willing. I see it as an essential part of doing this role well. For me, I want to build genuine partnerships. So that means engaging respectfully in ways that iwi and hapu want to, and build relationships that are grounded in mutual respect and shared aspirations. I don't think that it's really for the community board to dictate the terms of what a partnership looks like, because that's not really how you build truly collaborative partnerships. It's recognising that both parties bring knowledge and experience and strengths to the table. That way we can achieve more when we're sharing and working together. So my approach is to listen first, learn, and work alongside iwi and hapu towards outcomes that benefit everyone.
Okay, noho kana.
Well, hapu and iwi are part of our community, and if we weren't willing to work with them, then what are we doing representing the community on the community board? So I'm absolutely a big supporter of working with them, especially to realise shared dreams, shared outcomes, the best for our community. That's what we would want. And I think that hapu and iwi have some really great ideas when it comes to things like preserving our history, looking after the taiao, the environment. And I think that working together would be fantastic for the benefit of all of us here in Wainui.
Daniel.
Ditto. Yeah, how willing would I be to engage with them? Totally willing. Yep. Simple.
And Al.
I'm very willing and committed. Should I start again? I'm very willing and committed to work with local hapu and iwi in the community board level. I believe our community is strongest when we listen and learn from the knowledge, history and perspectives of our tangata whenua. Sorry if I said that wrong. I would approach this with respect, openness and a genuine desire to build strong ongoing relationships. It's about collaboration, ensuring that their voices are heard in decision making and that we work together on projects and initiatives that benefit the whole community. I see this as a partnership where we share ideas, acknowledge cultural significance, create outcomes that reflect the values and inspirations of everyone in our community. I am fully committed to working hand in hand with hapu and iwi to ensure our community thrives together.
And noho kana. What box number?
3?
3. Okay.
That's a good one.
Now do it. And now we got I for iwi. How can the community board contribute to civil defence and emergency management in our area?
I think for me, the community board is like the bridge between the literal community that we serve and civil defence and other mechanisms that have been put in place to ensure that we're all safe if there's a disaster of any kind. And I think what would be really good to see is collaborative mahi between the community board and our local marae, because I do know there are other marae around the country that do turn themselves into civil defence centres when things happen, and we know that it's a local place that we can all access. They have the facilities, so knowing what we have in our community is really, really important, especially when it comes to things like civil defence. We also know that Korneni Primary School is a civil defence centre, so if we know where all of these places are, then we can help facilitate that knowledge, especially if a disaster happens.
Okay, Daniel.
Kia ora. Yeah, community boards contributing to civil defence, really important. I think the biggest role we can have is kind of like Noho was saying, that we should be the connection between the council and the community, the grassroots, the maraes, the schools, the community groups, the volunteers. Obviously we have Remo, we have EOCs, we have a whole bunch of organisations that run it and operate it, but in terms of engagement on the ground, we should definitely be included in that consultation and engagement from the council and regional council and government. So yeah.
Okay, Al.
The community board plays an important role in supporting civil defence and emergency management in Wainuiomata by connecting the community with resources, information and preparedness initiatives. Having experience in civil defence myself, I understand how crucial it is for residents to know what to do and where to go and how to access support during emergencies. If elected, I would work to strengthen the communication and awareness through local workshops, community meetings and clear information online and in local hubs, although we've only got one here. I would also advocate for preparedness plans and consider the needs of our most vulnerable, including tamariki, our older residents and people with disabilities. By combining my civil defence experience with community engagement, I want to help Wainuiomata feel prepared, supported and resilient in the face of any emergency. And in saying that, we need to be more prepared because when Kaikoura happened, we had no supermarket, so and that got completely went. So we need to make more plans, I think, as a board, if elected.
Okay, Nikki.
Kia ora. So this is a subject that I'm really passionate about, and it's an area that I work in day to day, natural hazard resilience. And as other candidates have said, the community board can play a really important role in building relationships across community, because when we are in an emergency scenario, it's relationships that are going to be key to how we move through those situations. Just recently, in the work that I do at Wainuiomata Primary School, we organised a reunification drill. And that was a really important step in understanding both what the school would do in a scenario where we might have to close, but also engaging parents in thinking about what they would have to go through if they could not get home to Wainuiomata. We know that in any given day, 30,000 people are travelling over the Wainuiomata Hill. So we might not be at home when something happens. So readiness is really important. I see that the community board can collaborate with Remo, with civil defence, with schools to strengthen our readiness. And I just wanted to plug, I saw something that happened in the South Wairarapa recently, where South Wairarapa Council, Remo, some other community groups collaborated on making grab bags for Kaumatua. And I thought that was such a great initiative, and is something that we could easily remodel and adapt for the Wainuiomata context to make sure that we're looking after our most vulnerable.
Okay, Daniel, what box number?
5 left.
No, that's already been.
Oh,
I think there has been taken, Nick.
we'll go 6 then.
Yeah, number 6. Okay. We've got H for Hill, unless you can find me a suburb in Lower Hutt that starts with H. How accessible is the current community board, and what steps would you take to improve its accessibility?
Very good question. I'm on the current community board, so yeah, I think we be as accessible as we can. I think it's important for the public to know that for a lot of us, this is on top of a full-time job, and so it's the time dedication that we can actually realistically give is much less than, say, a councillor. But that being said, you know, we need to be accessible. So for me, it's full-time work and being a dad, and those things take priority at the end of the day. Family first for me. But, you know, I'm unapologetic with that. You know, so we need to increase our accessibility. We need to be out there in the community already, and I think most of our candidates are. They're on groups, they're helping with coaching, they're helping with volunteer groups. So I think the nature of the role requires you to be involved with the community already, and be willing to be even more accessible if needed. Yeah.
Okay, Al.
Right now, the community board is not as accessible as it could be. Many people only hear from the board if they attend meetings, and while there is a Facebook page, it isn't widely used or engaged in for the whole community. If elected, I would work to change that by being more visible and approachable. I would hold regular community clinics and visit local events, and make sure information is available through the local paper, online channels, and in our library, our community hub. I would also like to encourage two-way communication so people can raise issues and ideas without having to first come to formal meetings. My goal is to make the board more approachable, visible and responsive to all of Wainuiomata feels heard and connected, and not just those who attend meetings.
Okay, Nikki.
Sure. So I think Hutt City has taken a lot of positive steps towards making meetings and its members more accessible. I know that meetings are held at different times. You live stream your meetings. Information is shared on the council website and through social media. But what I've learned in this process so far is that there are still large parts of the community who don't know where to start when it comes with engaging with council, and even that we have a community board. For working parents who are time poor, engagement is low, and that raises an important question. Are we truly accessible to everyone, and therefore are we representing all parts of the community? I think we need to think about who is missing out and how we can reach them. We could explore collaborating with schools to run parent drop-ins. We could run sessions inside schools with tamariki and rangatahi, and we could be present at major community events. One thing I've been thinking about is Ulale and the soccer and touch tournament that they run in the summer. Hundreds of parents are attending that event. If we had an ability to meet parents there, what would that look like? How would that transform accessibility?
Okay, noho kaina.
I think, like everybody else has said, we could do better. Meetings could be moved around depending on what the timetable looks like, because I know that they're scheduled throughout the year. We can connect. We have a local high school here. We have the marae, so there are different places. Both are accessible venues for people with disabilities, so it wouldn't be too difficult to enter in and out of those buildings. Live streaming, utilising that as a resource, and I guess when we think about the future, hopefully one day we could have things like sign language interpreters. We can have captions on recorded meetings and things like that if we're specifically talking about accessibility for people who are hard of hearing, or those types of things. And in terms of like local events and stuff like that, absolutely, it would be great to see the community board out in those types of events, so that we can connect with the people that might not always be able to come to meetings.
Okay, and let's toss up the order in the opposite direction. Daniel, what box number?
Oh, 2 numbers at once. 7.
7?
Is that still available? We'll find
I
out.
can't remember. It's all right. There's only 9 cards in the box.
It's only 9. We don't remember 28 this time, do we? Like the poor councillors.
Okay, we got C for Charlie. How will you stand for the community at the council table on issues where the council is not in support of them?
Really important, I think. Again, community boards should be grassroots, community engaged, the essentially kind of middleman between community and council. So it's important to understand, I guess, from a public perspective, that we're limited by our delegations, so we don't really get a vote at the council table. However, this coming triennium, we will have 2 councillors on our board, which is our local ward councillor and our Māori ward councillor. So we can connect to the table through them. And so it's really important that we keep up communications with them, and when we disagree with the direction that the council is going, that we make that really clear, that we as a board do or do not support this based on what we've heard from the community and the residents. So yeah, I'm no stranger to speaking up and rocking the boat a little bit when needed, respectfully and politely, but yeah, so it's really important that we keep that communication up.
And noho kaina?
Well, at the end of the day, we're the voice of the community, and so like Daniel said, we have 2 councillors that will be sitting at the board table, so we can really utilise that opportunity to lobby them and to speak up about issues that are affecting Wainuiomata. We can look at what powers we do have and operate within that. But I think also too, it's important to know that we are the voice, and there's a reason why there is a community board, and so we need to really, really utilise the skills that we have. I think, for all of the experience that I've had in this world over the last 10 years, I've worked in a lot of different situations where I've had to speak up and I've had to advocate for a group of people. So for me, those are things that are really, really easy. So thinking ahead on into the future, if I was elected on the board, then I would utilise those skills and work with our community and work with the councillors that are there.
Nikki.
Yeah, so I agree with both of the candidates who have spoken. Our responsibility is to stand for community always. And I think that it's okay to be in disagreement. I think disagreement is a healthy part of democracy, and council need to hear it. So it would mean that I would be bringing evidence-based, community-driven positions to the table, even if they don't align with council's view or direction. I think it's really important that community see us doing that because they have entrusted us with carrying their voice. It's important that we walk the talk and not just pay lip service to, speaking for the community. So yeah, I'm prepared for those tensions. I think that's how you build really good trust, by showing up, speaking up, and making sure the voice of Wainuiomata is loud and clear.
Al.
Can you just clarify, is it which question, what number is it? Just tell me.
C.
C, no, just checking. Thank you.
That's right.
Standing for the community at the council table means being their voice, even when the council's position doesn't align with theirs. So I'm agreeing with everyone else is saying. I would start by fully understanding the community's concerns and gathering facts and clearly presenting their perspectives in a respectful and persuasive way. And I have done this through submissions and other things, and to other committees and stuff, and advocated as well. I would ask questions, explore alternatives, and advocate for solutions that reflect their needs while remaining constructive and professional. It's about persistence and making sure the issues are heard, documented and considered, even if immediately agreement isn't reached. I'd also like to keep the community informed, showing transparency in the process so they know that their concerns are being championed. Ultimately, standing for the community is about commitment and integrity and ensuring their voice is never lost, no matter the council's stance.
And Noho Kaina, what box number?
I'm trying to think of what the numbers are.
1 to 9, but I've not been 8. Yeah,
8.
actually, that one I don't believe we've done. I think it's all been odd numbers. Okay, we got G for golf. The name that was about to come ahead would have us blacklisted off YouTube or have demonetized.
Ooh.
What would your role entail in overseeing the planning, regulation and implementation of traffic, parking, signage and related policies, including community consultation processes?
I think the important thing here to know is that we don't get to make the final call. We can make suggestions. After all, the council are the ones that oversee all of those things. But what we can do is utilise our meetings to find out about, to talk about proposed changes so that the community that we're serving know, hey, look, this is what's happening. What are your opinions about it? When I went out canvassing, there are a lot of members of the community who were, for example, anti-speed bumps. But they didn't know that they could come to the community board meetings and voice those opinions. They thought that they just needed to talk directly to the council. So I guess when we think about those types of things, we need to bring those to our meetings and also find other ways to connect with the community who aren't able to come along and voice their opinions.
Okay, Nikki.
Yeah, similarly to Noho Kainga, acknowledging that this is quite a regulated space and different aspects of traffic and parking are managed by different levels of government, and we don't get to make a final call. I see the community board's role in this as very much in the consultation space, helping community raise problems or needs up through the council chain, then also making sure that if government are proposing changes, that these flow back down through for community input. Our job is to keep the local voice strong in the process, meaning that we are linking people to the right parts of council or government, making sure that concerns are heard in the right places, and then following up so that community voice isn't lost as things move through processes. It's about being a bridge in both ways and ensuring that decisions are shaped by the people who live with them daily.
Al.
Okay. As a community board member, my role in traffic, parking, signage and related issues is to represent the community's needs and provide input to the council. But that means considering how proposals affect Tamariki older residents, people with disabilities and everyday commuters. Community consultation would be essential, and I would engage residents through surveys, community meetings, talking with local groups and online feedback and drop-in sessions, and making sure the council hears what people actually need, not just what's on the paper. I'd also advocate for clear communication and follow-up, helping ensure any changes are implemented safely and effectively. My goal is to amplify the voices of Wainuiomata and make sure community needs are front and centre in every council decision, and also too that we work with the council and councillors, and we also work with the regional council and central government as needed.
Daniel.
Cool. I'll try to keep it quick and simple, actually. So this question does describe, essentially the job of our transport team, who will, be the technical experts. And so shout out to them, our council staff who do a great job day in, day out, and often don't get a lot of thanks. They just get complaints. So yeah, our council officers are expected to be the technical experts on this kind of stuff, and I'll generally respect that. Our role is really to vote on their recommendations, and those votes, that recommendation then goes to the traffic subcommittee and then to the council. So what's important, and I'll also shout out someone else here, which I normally wouldn't do, but to our local councillor, Kerry Brown, through the Maru Streets for People project, it was quite clear that there were some residents not happy with the final result, and that was constantly noted at our board meetings, and I don't know if it actually got listened to at the council level, so that's kind of even more important. Vote for councillors you think will genuinely listen to your boards, and to the community voices.
And noho kana.
I'm pretty sure I just did.
Did you start that one?
I answered first. I'm pretty sure.
Sorry. Sorry, I'm having a sleepy moment.
I think so.
I was going to say I can't sit there and stay here style colours. I might offend someone. So I think a sleepy moment. Nikki.
I have also answered the question.
We've all answered that question.
So, would you like me to choose another box number?
Yes. Yes. Gee, you're doing my job.
Yeah, I would love box number 2.
Box number
please.
2. Okay, we got B for Bravo. How would you stand up for your community interests if it differs from your own position?
Cool. Yeah, I think, we're all human and we all see things from different perspectives. We've all had different lived experiences. And I think, the fact that we all come from different places is part of what makes our community really strong. In my advocacy work with Love Wainuiomata, we've made submissions on a wide range of issues on different council consultations, and we've always made sure that those submissions are grounded in community views, and even when they differ to my own personal views. So I put them forwards, I put community views forwards because the role isn't about representing myself, it's about representing the community and the different people that make community. So for me, that means actively gathering a wide range of perspectives, listening and being willing to put my personal views on hold when it's needed, even when it's not the easiest or most comfortable thing to do. So yeah, carry the voice of community because that's the job, and that's how we build trust.
Okay, Al.
I believe representing a community means putting the people first, even when their views may be different from my own. My role is to listen carefully, understand the full range of perspectives, and weigh out what will best serve the majority and the long-term well-being of our community. Where there are differences, I'll be open and transparent in explaining my own history, my own position honestly, but making sure I advocate strongly for the voices I represent. It's about building trust. People need to know their concerns are heard and represented, not just when it's convenient. At the end of the day, my responsibility is to be a bridge between differing views and ensuring decisions reflect the community's priorities, not just my personal ones. That's how I'll stand up for the community, by putting people first, always.
Okay, Daniel.
Kia ora. Camera. Hello. I'm waiting for the camera. One of the candidates pointed out I'm the only one showing my legs tonight. Right. So this question is good. Stand up for the community if it differs to my own position. I've already done this. If you don't know me, my day job is a cemeteries manager. It's an area that I'm really passionate about. And I've spoken to the council many, many times at different meetings as a resident, specifically because I didn't have lots and lots of residents talking to me as a board member, so I spoke as a resident on that issue. However, it then came full circle and I helped a local resident and kaumātua who wanted to talk to me about this issue, and I helped him start a petition about the cemetery issue, that there is no burial plots in Lower Hutt. So I'm very honest and have integrity. I will always speak as a resident when it's my concerns, but if it's concerns I hear from residents, I will very clearly say this is what the residents are saying.
And noho kainga.
I think the question's already been answered well enough by all the other candidates, but I just wanted to point out again, you know, I'm there to represent the community and their voice and what they need, and I see myself and all of the other candidates or all of the other members of the community board as that bridge between the community and wherever else we need to advocate for them. So I think it's really important that if whoever you elect to the community board remembers that you are there to represent the community, that you can draw from your own lived experiences, your own ideas, but at the end of the day, you have to go with what the community is wanting.
Okay, and Al, what box number?
I'll have box number 1, because I don't think it's gone.
Oh, I'll believe you on that one. Okay, and we have F for Fairfield. What factors currently support community gardens in your area, and what actions could be taken to improve or create new ones?
Community gardens in Wainuiomata are supported by local interests, volunteer commitment and existing spaces that provide access to land, and we have a number of them. They bring people together, teach valuable skills and improve access to fresh food and create pride and connection in our community. To improve existing gardens or create new ones, we would need to find accessible land and funding for tools and infrastructure that would need to support for ongoing maintenance. Partnering with schools, local organisations and residents would help ensure gardens meet the needs of the whole community. I'd also advocate for multi-generational programs that include tamariki youth and older residents, as gardens become spaces where people can connect, share knowledge, support each other. With the right support, community gardens can thrive as hubs of learning and connection for everyone in Wainuiomata.
Okay, Daniel.
Kia ora. All right. I'll wait for the camera again. And go. 59 seconds. All right. Again, I've already been working in this space. I'm a bit of a green thumb. Love gardening, love community gardens. I've already helped start 2 community gardens, the one on Paul Cress opposite Wainuiomata Primary, and the one at our house where we utilised front lawn space. And so, yeah, community gardens are fantastic. You know, people can often sometimes underestimate the amount of work that is involved, and so I'd be a big advocate for sharing information, resources, and I'm more than happy to have a coffee and a chat with anyone wanting to start one, and give support and advice. So I think there's definitely a role for the community board to play, and for the council to support through resourcing and funding potentially.
And noho kainga.
Yeah, I think community gardens are incredible resources. We already know that many whānau here in Wainuiomata and around the country are struggling in terms of the cost of living, and so alleviating some of that pressure by having accessible community gardens or supporting existing ones like the one at Kokiri Marae. They have a pātaka kai and things like that, and that kai goes back out to the community. So I think that we should really look at what we can utilise in terms of council funding, whatever funding we get for the community board, and how do we pull together our resources, especially those, like Daniel mentioned, people who are knowledgeable and know how to start community gardens and are willing to upkeep those or maintain them is incredibly important. We have a little garden at the kohanga reo that I work at, and so we're kind of looking at how we can utilise our parent community. So in terms of the community board level, we have multiple schools here, so maybe there's a way that we can collaboratively work together to help feed the community that we live in.
And Nikki.
Yeah, I'm not sure there's too much to add here. I personally love community gardens. They connect generations, and most importantly, they help get our kids outside, and they teach them where their kai comes from. And like Daniel has pointed out, and others have pointed out, we've got some great examples of community gardens here in Wainuiomata. The garden at the Pātaka Kai, the Paul Krez garden. Most of our schools are enviro schools, and I'll just give a shout out to Arakura Primary School, because I know that the kai they grow in their garden goes back into their school lunch program. So it's a huge, circular process for those children. What I did want to add on this is that community gardens can be a great source of community resilience. We've already talked about civil defence and emergency planning. Our ability to grow kai in the area that we live in could be a huge help. And we've also touched on the cost of living crisis. We know that for many whānau, they will grow food in their garden to supplement what they're able to afford at the supermarket. So the more that we can build those skills and make space available, I think that would be a great thing for us to be looking at doing.
Okay, and the last question that's in the box is letter E for electricity. Okay, and we're going to really toss up this one here. What community board projects would you be happy to support for community board grants? Al?
If I could support a project through community board grants, I would focus on initiatives that bring our community together and make Wainuiomata more accessible for everyone. That could be safe and an inclusive space for children and our youth, like after-school programs and mentoring or creative hubs that we don't already have. I'd like to prioritise projects that benefit our older residents, such as community spaces and social programs or transport solutions that could reduce the isolation and help them stay connected. Accessibility for people with disabilities or additional needs would remain a key focus, so everyone can fully participate in community life, which lots of people can't. Ultimately, the project I support would reflect what our community truly needs. Every initiative should help all our whānau, young and old, feel included, supported and proud to be part of Wainuiomata.
Okay, nohu kaina.
Me?
No. As I said, I'm tossing up the order.
Oh, okay.
It's about keeping you on your toes.
In an ideal world, we'd support every single community project that's out there because they're all important for different reasons. I think building on from my last answer about community gardens, I think that would probably be the local community project that I'd want to support the most, simply because it will help alleviate the pressure of the cost of living on our community. Kai should be accessible to everybody. And there's also other things that come into supporting a community garden, like as mentioned by other candidates. We can have, teach our tamariki where their kai comes from. We can include different generations in the upkeep of that garden. There's a lot of knowledge that comes out of it. And so, I think for me, the key thing would be projects that support kai, so sustainable kai. And for me, that would definitely be the community gardens.
Okay, Nikki.
Kia ora. I'd be happy to support projects that bring people together. I think one of the things that keeps coming out of most of our answers here is around community cohesion and knowing your neighbours, having strong community. And I think or projects, they could be events that help to continue to build that spirit across community are really important. But equally, I would support projects that help support the local economy and maybe fill gaps that are not currently being met. So again, being in consultation with community and understanding what they need and where they need it, and then helping grow local projects that support those needs.
Daniel.
Now it's my turn. Cool. Go. Right, well, I'll finish. I won't be a Debbie Downer. I'll be a slight Daniel Downer. Unfortunately, our community board no longer approves things that aren't climate related for community grants. Now, that is not necessarily a bad thing. I'm all for climate and sustainability. However, it means that unfortunately this year, and I've expressed my disappointment with this approach, that fund that used to be a general community grant fund is over $200,000 underspent. And so I've been speaking up about that and just saying, look, we should be still considering a lot of great projects out there that may not have the biggest green tick, but do bring community together. So those are the kinds of things I would support, is like our fellow candidates have said, things that benefit the community and bring them together. But we do need to see, if you want funding for that stuff, unfortunately, you've got to go look at all the other grants from council, not community board grants anymore.
Okay, so let's keep roll on the hard-hitting credits. And for the community boards, we only got one hard-hitting question, but we need to know where the candidates stand. What is your position on retaining Hutt City Council's Manakarangi ki Tai Māori Ward and Greater Wellington Regional Council's Te Upoko i Te Ika a Maui Māori constituency, and why do you hold that position? Nukukaina. Yeah.
Tēnā koutou. I think the simple and easy answer is yes. Vote yes for Māori wards. We absolutely should keep them. It's about dedicated representation for Māori, and those who are on the Māori electoral roll, they deserve to have representation that does exactly that. They represent them. I think it would be a loss to not have those voices at the council level, because we know that Māori people are values-based. They're a values-based culture, and they bring that type of whakaaro to the council table, to whatever it is that they're involved in. I think when we think about climate change, revitalising our taiao, our waterways, our awa, those are things that come in really, really strongly with Māori ward candidates and with Māori people in general. And so I think it's incredibly important that we continue to maintain them. When we think about Te Tiriti o Waitangi, Māori are 50% of that, and we should have representation at every level, local and central government included.
Okay, Nikki.
Everything that Noho Kāinga has just said, I'm supportive of retaining Māori wards. It's about honouring the Te Tiriti o Waitangi, upholding principles of partnership and participation. Dedicated Māori wards help, they bring Māori perspectives, mātauranga, deep community knowledge into council decision making. The strengths and the outcomes on issues for environmental protection, housing, transport, social well-being, it's a guaranteed voice on decisions that directly affect everybody, and we should have everybody's voice at the table. So I'm fully in support of keeping Māori wards. We should vote to keep them on your referenda papers.
Okay, Al. Wait.
I strongly support the retaining of these two Maori council wards in both the councils. So we've got the Greater Wellington and our City Council seats. These wards are vital because they ensure Maori voices are represented at local decision making, and the perspectives, rights and needs of tangata whenua, sorry if I've said that wrong, are heard and respected. Representation matters. It strengthens democracy, and it makes our councils more inclusive and accountable to all our communities. Retaining these Maori wards also honours Te Treaty of Waitangi, and I never say that right, I'm sorry, and helps councils make decisions that reflect the unique culture, history and aspirations of Maori in our region. I hold this position because I believe Wainuiomata in our Waiuiomata region benefits when everyone's voice is heard and when Maori perspectives are fully included in shaping the future of our communities. So please vote yes in the referendums.
And Daniel.
And go. Yes, fully support the boards. Why? I think it's quite simple from my personal view. We've had Māori seats in Parliament since the 1860s, so why not councils? If you want to get rid of one, then you should argue to get rid of all of them, which I think you'd be starting a war to try that. yeah, really simple. I think this is frankly a bit of a non-issue because of that logic. It's just they're there, they should be there. Support them.
Okay, now let's get time for closing statements. Daniel, you get to go first.
The camera's still on me. I forgot I got a closing statement. I guess just vote. Your voice is not heard if you're not voting. Research your candidates. We're here tonight. Watch the recording afterwards. Share the recording afterwards. Know your candidates. Yeah, democracy matters. And I think some of these issues that come up, like the multi-wards, sometimes try to sideline things and take the focus off just general democracy and engagement, and people try to take things away with rhetoric on the left and the right. But just vote. You can vote for me, or you can vote for Noho, or you can vote for Nikki, or you can vote for Al. But whatever you do, just get out there and vote. I hope you do vote for me. I've been on the board. I've got the experience. And I'll advocate strongly for you and for Wainuiomata. I love this place. Been here 10 years. Raised my family here. So, yeah, get out there and vote, and hopefully for me.
And Noho Kaina.
Kia ora. So vote yes for Māori wards, and like Daniel said, you need to get out there and vote. Voting is so important because it's how you get to have your say, and it's how you get to choose people that will represent you, or at least fight for you. I like to think of it as vote for the way that you vote is you vote for people that will look after the most vulnerable within our community. So I really hope that you choose candidates that are going to represent you and represent people like your nan, your kaumātua, your babies, your children, and people that think about what's going to happen in the future. Vote for me because I'm a really amazing advocate. I feel like that's so funny to say it in that way, but it's true. That's all I've ever done in the last 10 years of my life. So if there's nothing else to say, vote yes for Māori wards. Make sure you vote, or don't complain.
Nikki.
Yeah, kia ora. Thank you for having us here tonight, and thank you to my fellow candidates for all their amazing kōrero. I completely endorse everything that's sort of already been said. Getting out and voting is the best thing that you can do in local government elections. And it's really strange sitting here trying to sell myself and make a closing statement and say this is why you should vote for me, because in all of the work that we contribute to community, we're never really doing it for ourselves, for our own profile. It's always for the benefit of community. So I will just say that Wainuiomata it's more than where I live. It's where I'm raising my family. It's where I'm trying to give back in all the ways that I can. For Wainuiomata, our strength has always been in our people, and I would encourage you to get to know your candidates and vote for people that have values that align with yours, and yeah, just make sure you vote.
Okay, Al.
I'm not a career politician. I'm a mother and an advocate, and someone who knows what it means to live with challenges. I know how hard people fight every day just to get the support they need. My priorities are clear: accessibility and inclusion for all. More support for children, youth and their whānau, and dignity and respect for our retired and older residents through better transport, accessible spaces and stronger community connections. Good leadership starts with listening, and that's what I will keep doing. I will show up, listen to your voices, and work hard for a Wainuiomata that is more accessible, more compassionate, and more inclusive for everyone. I'm Al Abel, and I'd be honoured to earn your trust and your vote. Ngā mā nui, thank you.
Okay, thank you for that, candidates, for taking time to put your feet to the It's in the Ballot fire. It's not easy sitting there doing that, but thank you for showing us the support for being here this evening. And thank you to our viewers who are watching online, and to our team, was it Nick who's in studio, who's had a lot more additional work. Sorry for the camera's been a bit slow. The stream deck is not currently talking to XSplit, and it's also had to happen when there was a Windows update sitting pending in the background. And yeah, it definitely makes doesn't make things work the best, but it's just what it is. And I would also like to thank Laura for the help that she's done for remote editing the show, and I would also like to thank the help for Stacey's put into the shows and trying to make things all work here. And thank you to the Wainuiomata community for supporting It's in the Ballot. Feel free to share this far and wide to help your voters decide which places to send their 6 ticks to. Just a little bit of housekeeping. It's in the Ballot Productions is an independent non-profit organisation that is funded on small dollar donations. If you'd like to help keep supporting our projects, you can sit there and head to our Give a Little page, which is at which is on the QR code on screen. You can also head to our Eventbrite options and do Koha without admission to put in a direct donation into it. You can also head to it'sintheballot.nz and click on donate here, where you can also get our KiwiBank bank account number and put a direct credit funds into our bank account. You can also now, since we have YouTube partnership, you can also do either a super chat if we're live in the show to contribute, or you can do a super thanks, which can contribute if you are not watching this live. And if you would like to check out our merch, you can also buy some of our 2025 themed It's in the Ballot shirts. So we now, for tomorrow, we do not have the Te Whanganui-a-Tara Māori Ward show. If you're planning to tune in at 1 o'clock, unfortunately, we do not have any candidate participations to make the show go ahead. And we're sorry to the viewers of It's in the Ballot that we'll not be able to bring you this ward for the It's in the Ballot 2025 election coverage. We'll be at 4 p.m. tomorrow for the Pokehina Lambton Ward show, and we've got 7 p.m. for the Paikawakawa Southern Ward show, and you can sit there and check those out both live, or if you want to come and watch in studio, we'll be at Te Whaia, also known as the National Drama School on Hutchinson Road, literally right down the road from Newtown. So we will see yous all back at 4 p.m. tomorrow on It's in the Ballot. What happened to the coffee?